Hello friends, welcome back to another Value Vintage Cards video. This is going to be a VR for Pepino Man, hitting big 3,000 subscribers. So went ahead and asked everybody if we could share our favorite card by decade and also share kind of a goal target card. And I've seen most of the videos I've seen released already have been very realistic, so they're not just throwing out, T206 Wagner and 52 Mantle and, some other things that might be outside of the scope for most of us, if not all of us, depending on which one I picked there. So I wanted to be pretty realistic too, but I've got several decades to cover, so I'm going to choose to go with, I guess I'll do oldest to newest. So he mentioned starting 50s, 60s, said whatever decade you had to start with, but I'm going to start all the way back. I'm going to go with the 1880s as my starting decade. So this card, it's insane. I've had people actually bring that up recently. So gold coin, it's listed as 1887, Jim O'Rourke, Order Jim. So that'd be my favorite from the 1880s. My goal card would actually be same set. I'd like to pick up a Charles Comiskey from that set. 1890s were tough, but I went ahead and did a little bit of research. Old Judge was released anywhere from like 1886 to 1890, so I'm going to cheat and call this 1890. And I only have one, so I'm going to go ahead and share what I do have, which is a Tim Keefe. It is altered, but he's a Hall of Fame pitcher, and that's super cool just to have an old Judge card like that. So that's my 1890s. From that set, I would love to have the Old Hoss Radburn. If you don't know the exact one I'm talking about, it's the original picture to have somebody giving the camera the middle finger. So that would be my choice for that decade. In the 1900s, a recent pickup. This is a postcard. It's got the word card in the title. 1907, Mordecai Brown. My favorite thing about that is the image of his hand, because you can actually see the three-finger part. I absolutely love this item. It's my favorite Mordecai Brown piece. So that is my favorite from the 1900s. Absolutely just can't get over that. Super exciting. And my card that I would say is really any of the E's. Honus Wagner. I think I had an E102 back in the day. E95s are fine. Any kind of Honus Wagner playing day would be phenomenal to add. So 1910s. This was a tough choice, and this is going to be a really boring one to illustrate. George Sisler. With glares and stuff, it's hard to read these. M101-4. My target is an M101-5. Talk about boring. On this one, he's listed as a first baseman. On the -5, he's listed as a pitcher. I think that is awesome. So that would be my target, is to have a clone card, but with a different position listed. That is probably my grail card, honestly. That would be the one that if I got that, I would say like, okay, everything else is going to be less than this, in some way, shape, or form. So super hard to find. If you have a lead on one, please let me know. 1920s. I'm going to go with Babe Ruth. Love the image of him throwing right-handed, that reversed image. It's a 1921 W516. So that is my choice for the 20s. What I had in there as a choice from the 20s. Let me see. All right, from the 20s, I had the 1927 exhibit of Gehrig. 25 is the rookie, 27 is the looks identical but isn't quite as expensive. From the 30s, go with my DeLong Gehrig. That is absolutely still thrilling that I have that. That's how you know it's one of those cards you need when you're still excited to see it months and years later. From the 30s, I would say What I'd really like to add would be a 34 exhibit of Garrick and Ruth together. It's the last chance to get them together on a card. From the 40s, I've shared this before, but again, it's another one of those that I can't stop getting excited about. 1947 Tip Top Bread of Yogi. And from the 40s, my goal target card would be to finally pick up a leaf of Jackie. So, that 48-49 leaf scenario, I'd like to nail down one of those. From the 50s, I will show y'all once again my stand. If you're not as familiar, Hunter Wieners. That is by far my favorite in the 50s. And from the 50s, I would like to actually pick up a 1959 Yoo-Hoo Yogi Berra. That'd be super cool. From the 60s, it's going to surprise me. I didn't go with value. I just went with something I thought was super, super cool, which I think is kind of the mission. I just love this thing. But the 1960 Morel Meats Sandy Koufax, that is such a cool looking image. I just love that. Every time I look at that, I'm just so happy I got it. I got it in the exact perfect value vintage 1.5. I love 1.5s. It's clearly superior to a 1, but still affordable. In the 60s, I would like to get the 1967 Venezuelan Retirado Babe Ruth. I think that's in my target. I think I might have a lead on one even if I can make a deal. 1970s, another one I've shown. I feel like I've shown all my most exciting cards, maybe. I don't know. Mike Schmidt, the Puerto Rican sticker. I think that's super, super cool. So it's his 1 year before his Topps and OPC rookie. That is absolutely my favorite card in the 70s. I don't think anything will ever overtake that. That is the card of the 70s for me. The one I would like to add would be a 1972 Venezuelan stamp of Carl Yastrzemski. That's who I picked out of that set. Seaver would be great, Ryan would be great, but I'm going to go with Yastrzemski on that. It gets tougher. We're kind of leaving the vintage world at this point, I feel like. So 1980s, I'll keep playing the game. For me, I was a big Greg Maddux fan growing up, so I will go with the Venezuelan sticker of Gregory Maddux. That is by far my favorite 80s card, because it's rare and it's cool. The one I had on my list that I am still hunting for, it's rare that I'm shopping for an 80s card, but I would like to get the 1982 John Elway Minor League Baseball card. I think that is awesome, so I love that. In the 90s, now you're talking like classic, my childhood. I'm going to go Frank Thomas. I was able to pick one up autographed, got an auto 10, I don't care. But what I do love about these things, I mean, that's one of the 2 or 3 most iconic cards. I mean, 86 Canseco and a few others, but love that. But it's autographed with a nickname on it. Anything that has a nickname on it is money for me, so I will definitely take that with the big hurt on there. The 2000s, the 10s, and the 20s, I will say I do not collect much. I've got a few cards, but really, if I'm collecting anything from that era, it's stuff like this. So in the 2000s, I have a patch card of Lou Gehrig. And the really cool thing is on the back, it actually talks about him and Stan Musial. So that's another reason I actually love this one, is the write-up on the back mentions Musial and him together, which are 2 of my absolute favorite players, period. 2010s, I'm going to go with this card because I actually had to seek out to be able to land it. It's a little bit tough to see. It's tough to see in person. It's just really weird how they made this so tough to really read because of the colors they used. But it is Gale Sayers and Ernie Banks, double jersey relic. They both went into the Hall of Fame in 1977, which is the year I was born. So I think that's super awesome. It's another reason to collect Ernie and Gale Sayers. Plus, being from the Chicago area, like, how much more combination of perfect world can you get? So absolutely love that card. And that's, you know, a $30, $50 card, whatever. Any of these 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, all I would want is more relics of people that weren't playing then. So I really don't have goal cards. I will collect something unique. Give me Bears, give me Musials, give me Sisslers, give me Peyton and Sayers and Banks. So that's really where I go with that. And then the 2020s, to continue my cheating the system, and it's not people that are playing now or even alive. I did land one of those, which I think is neat. You get Ruth, Mantle, DiMaggio, Ott, Musial, Mays, and Ted Williams. That's pretty gosh darn good for a relic card. So that is that. That is a run through way more decades than I think was intended, so I apologize. I had a blast with this VR topic. It's kind of like trying to pick your favorite kid. You know, I can look at grades, but that's not ultimately what makes the decision. In reality, it's tough. A lot of these decades was very, very challenging. Sorry for the teacher joke there. But no, it really is. It's tough. Some of those decades I had 4 or 5 cards and now they're stacked behind me. I got to put them back because I at the end of the day just said, like, this one's newer and it's super cool. So, thank you to Pepino Man. Caesar, congratulations. 3,000 plus and counting, on your way to 4 and 5. Super awesome. Great challenge. Absolutely love it. So congratulations, and hope everyone has a good one. Take care.